Hello everybody and welcome to your video notes on Learning Target 1.3. We're doing rate conversions and in this video we're going to be doing rate conversions using the cross multiply method. The wording for the learning target is right here. The goal is to get to a point where you can do a rate conversion with English and metric and vice versa, which is what this video is all about. Long story short of the topic though, we're doing the rate conversions with cross multiply. Our goal is still the same as all of our other conversions. We want to make the units change. The units that we're given change to the units that we're trying to find. Okay, let's zoom in on number 1 and go ahead and get started. So if you are a cross multiply person, you should already be aware of the fact that in order to do the cross multiply method, it's going to take more work to get there. Okay, but if this is your chosen method, good. You're just going to have to do a little bit extra work, and I want you to know that going into this. If this was the DA method, we'd be able to do it in less steps, but since this is cross multiply, we're going to have to do each individual part as a separate problem. Okay, so if you're still listening, awesome. If what I told you said, all right, you know, I'm good, I'm out, I'm going to go do the DA method, that's fine. But here we go. So to start off with, we're going to start with what we're given. So the 75, let's go ahead and erase that, 75 miles for every 1 hour. Okay. Now this looks like it would be nice to do a proportion, but it actually isn't the way that we can't do the proportion with the miles and hours together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to split this up. And actually, I'm going to erase this because we're going to be going 75 miles over 1 hour. I'm going to take stuff on the top, so this, and we're going to split it. This is going to be doing its own thing, and then let's do a different color, and this is going to do its own thing over here. Okay, and we're going to convert these separately, and then in the end we're going to bring them back together, and then that will be our final. We'll have to do a division, and then will be our final answer. Okay, so we're going to do 2 problems separately, and then eventually we'll get there. Okay, so for this, let's do the top part first. So our goal is to go from miles to feet. And I can do that conversion factor pretty easily. I know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. If you don't know that off the top of your head, that's okay. You can find that on your pink reference sheet. Okay. My given is the 75 miles. And X is the thing that I'm going to try to find. Let's do purple. So I'm going to multiply the things that are across and then divide by the one by itself. So I'm going to end up with 75 miles times 5,280 feet over 1 mile. I can see that miles will cross out eventually. And I'm going to be left with feet, which is what I want to get to. So I'm going to type this in my calculator, and what I got was this number here, 396,000. So 396,000 feet would be my answer for the top. And I went all the way from miles to feet, so I'm done with this. All right. So in the end, I'm going to have my top thing, so I've got 396,000 feet. And then whatever I get on the bottom here, because I'm going to go from hours to, I'm going to try to get to seconds. So whatever I get for my answer over here, it'll be in seconds. I'll have a number here, I'll divide, and then we'll get our final answer. All right. So let's do this one in red to begin with. So like I said, I'm going to go from hours to seconds, but I can't go directly from hours to seconds. So I'm going to take a pit stop at minutes because I can go from hours to minutes and then minutes to seconds. Okay? We have to do 2 separate problems here. So going from hours to minutes first, I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Okay, I have that equal my fraction over here. I'm given 1 hour. So then x is going to be what I'm trying to find. And we can tell right away that our answer is going to be 60, right? So we could go there right away, but just to get in the habit of showing my work, I'm going to show my work. So I end up with 1 times 60 divided by 1. So I've got my 1 hour times 60 minutes over 1 hour. Oh my gosh. The hours go away. I'm left with 60 minutes. So I've got 60 minutes as my given now. So I've taken care of this step right here. So now what I need to do is, let's try this color. Sure. Now I'm going to go from minutes to seconds. Okay. So this is my given now. I've got my ratio, which is 1 minute is 60 seconds. Now my given is 60 minutes, so I'm going to match that with what I have here, and then my x would go there. So we're going to do 60 times 60 divided by the one that goes with x. So I got 60 seconds times 60 minutes over 1 minute. The minutes go away. I'm left with seconds. 60 times 60, that's 3,600, and then it would be seconds. Okay? I've done this whole thing here. So now I'm going to take my 3,600 and I'm going to plug that in over here. I'm going to divide these two numbers, and I get 110 feet per second, or feet for every 1 second. Okay? So, like I'd said before we got started, it's a little bit involved. We have to do two separate problems as we go through. One for what's on the top, and then the other one for what's on the bottom. And then however many steps there are, that's how many conversion factors I have to do. Then I came back and I divided both the top by the bottom, and I got my feet per second in the end. Alright, here's what I'd like you to do now. I would like you to pause the video and do this one on your own. Once you're done, continue on, and I'm going to show you what I got for my answer. Okay, so here's the beginning of my work. I started with my 5.2 miles on the top and my 1 hour on the bottom, but then I have to divide this in half, right? I have to do my top separately from the bottom. So I got my 5.2 miles. I'm going from miles to kilometers, and that's just a one step, so that's pretty easy. I have my conversion factor from miles to kilometers that I find on my pink reference sheet. And then I got my 5.2 miles, cross multiply. I get this business going on here. Miles went away, I was left with kilometers, and I got this for my answer. Okay, so then I paused that, and then I came over here, and I had to go from hours to weeks. Okay, but I couldn't go directly from, I don't know how many hours there are in a week, so I decided, you know, I can go from hours to days and then to weeks. So I did some separate problems for that. I set up that I knew that there were 24 hours in a day, and so then I have my given, which is 1 hour, put that over x, so that way the units match. I do my cross multiply. I get this over here, hours go away, I'm left with days, and I get this, but I'm in days, right? I need to get to weeks. So then I do another problem, and I have my 7 days in 1 week. I put this down for my answer. I know I've told you don't round, like you should round to a few digits, but don't round when you're in the middle of a problem. Do not round in the middle of a problem, okay? It'll give you a bad answer. If I rounded this to 0.04, I'd get the wrong answer. Okay, multiply what's across, I divide. So I take this decimal times 1 week divided by 7 days. The days go away, I'm left with a week. and I get this many weeks. Again, you want to save all your digits. And then I'm going to plug in my numbers here. So I got 8.372 kilometers for every 0.0059523 weeks. I'm going to type that in my calculator, and I get 1413 about 3 kilometers per week. And that would be my answer. Okay, so you take your two things, you go all the way through both the top and the bottom. We get a number, get another number, and divide. Okay, bear with me. We're gonna do one more. We're not gonna do this one. Okay, I'm just gonna have you do this one. Okay, so the reason why I want to make sure we at least hit this one is because we've got kilometers and inches, and there's a shortcut that we can do to save us a little bit of time. Okay, so I'm going to set this up. Okay, so I have this set up. I'm going to have to do my two different ways. I'm going to do days over here and kilometers over here. I like different colors, so let's say 5 kilometers, and then I'm going to go to inches. Now I'm going to give you a disclaimer and say that there's more than one way to do this. It's definitely more than one way to do this. This is just one of the ways. So going from kilometers to inches, you have to think about your roadmap. I'm going to go from kilometers, and then I know I can go to meters. And then once I have meters, I can go to feet, and then to inches. Okay? So if I do it this way, I can take a shortcut on the kilometers to meters because I don't have to do the math for that part. I know I just have to move my decimal places. Okay? For the days, I'm going to go from... I already have green. Let's do red. I can go from, trying to go from days to seconds. I don't know how many seconds there are in a day, but I do know that I can go from days to hours, and then from hours to minutes, and then to seconds. Okay, so this one I'll have to do 1, 2, 3 problems. And over here, it looks like I'm going to have to do 3 problems, but here's one way that we can make our lives a little bit easier for the top. Okay, I just added those back in. I'm going to go from kilometers to meters. So kilo is over here, and then meters is a base unit. So I'm going to move my decimal to the right. Let's see, it's 5. So 5 kilometers. I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to move it to the right, going from 3 to 0. That's the difference is 3, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So my answer would be 5,000 meters. Now I don't have to do the math. So this part's done. I've got 5,000 meters. So this part's done. Now I just have to go to feet and then inches. Okay. Go ahead and see if you can do the rest now. I'm just gonna flash the answer here up just to save some time. Alright, so here's what I got for my answer. I got 2.28 inches per second. And oh my goodness, that was a lot of work. But I did it. So I took my 5 kilometers and I told you how I got to my 5,000 meters. Just trying to remember where I ended previously. And then I had to go from meters to feet to inches. So this step right here, I did my meters to feet conversion. I multiply here, divide there. And here's my work. I ended up with my 5,000 meters times my 3.28, like I said. Cross out the meters, I'm left with feet. When I do the math, I got 16,400 feet. Then I have to do my feet to inches conversion. So right here. Multiply these two, divide there. I end up with my feet canceling out. I'm left with inches. Multiply, divide. This is the number I get. That'll end up going on the top of my fraction. And then we have to do the bottom side. So, days to hours, hours to minutes, minutes to seconds. Going from days to hours, I know I showed my work before, but if I've got one day, hey, we all know that's 24 hours, right? No math needed. So I just wrote that there. Then I had to go from hours to minutes, so that's this guy here. 1 hour, 60 minutes. 24 times 60 divided by 1 hour. 24 times 60 divided by 1 hour. Hours go away, I'm left with minutes. These are how many minutes I had. And then I have to go from minutes to seconds. So that's what I did here. 1 minute is 60 seconds. Multiply, divide. Here's my work. Minutes go away, left with seconds. Do my math, I end up with this. Then I come back up here, divide my answers, and that's how I get there. Whew! Lots of work, but we were able to do it if we just go step by step. Thanks for listening.